have, all of the evidence points to stones being dragged on sleds, with no force multipliers like pulleys or capstans, using only sheer human horsepower and simple levers, which would have been very much limited by material strength, either wooden or soft metal like copper or bronze. I'm very doubtful that a civilization with these primitive capabilities alone would have been capable of quarrying, lifting, transporting, and putting in place loads that exceed, let's be generous and say 200 tons. I think it's been demonstrated that with leverage and careful planning and a lot of time and resources and effort, you might be able to move a 100-ton block a short distance and then maneuver it into place, but as the tonnage goes up, it's not a simple linear progression of difficulty. It becomes exponentially or logarithmically more difficult. The material strength of wood or softer metals becomes an issue. The friction coefficient of trying to drag huge loads on sleds goes through the roof, and depending on the area in which the work is happening, think of quarries, there simply isn't enough space to get enough people involved to provide the force required to lift and move such huge blocks of stone. Consider the unfinished obelisk at Aswan. How do you think they were going to lift this behemoth up out of its trench and move it over the very rocky and uneven ground with human horsepower and ropes alone? You can't simply just point to examples of wall paintings or depictions of the ancient Egyptians moving much smaller loads and then in some blanket fashion apply that method to weights that are 10 or 50 times greater. It just doesn't work that way. Yet that is exactly the reasoning and explanation the standard model gives you when you ask, how did they do it? As I've mentioned in previous videos, a good example of this is the Djibouti Hotep relief, showing a team of 160 odd workers moving a large statue on a sled. Now this painting or this relief is used in just such a blanket fashion to explain how all large statues were moved. The problem is, scientific research into this calcite statue, parts of which still exist, show that it weighed somewhere around 57 tons. This is in a peer-reviewed paper if you want to look it up. Could they have moved this statue in the fashion depicted in the wall painting? Sure, 57 tons, I think this is plausible. But I think it's stretching credulity, not to mention practical logistics, to suggest that this image explains how 1,000 plus ton statues were moved 1,000 kilometers or more. We know what it takes to move extremely heavy loads without the assistance of hydraulics or diesel power. As I've covered in previous videos on logistics and the colossal statues, the Thunderstone, some 1,500 tons, was moved from Finland to Russia in the 1700s. But it took a very long time and the use of capstans, pulleys, and huge steel rails running on bronze spheres. And even then, on a good day, it could have been moved only just over 100 meters. The crazy thing about ancient Egypt and these megalithic sites is that feats like this seem to have been completed on the regular, many thousands of years ago, and supposedly with far, far inferior levels of technology when compared to those available in the 1700s. There's only one Thunderstone, but there are dozens of huge stone blocks, statues, obelisks, etc. that weigh well in excess of 500 tons, if not over 1,000. How did they do it? The types of logistical miracles represented by blocks like the one in the mortuary temple, along with the obviously different building style when comparing structures with large blocks to those with small blocks, not to mention the erosional differences, are just a few of the reasons I think there is a legitimate alternative explanation for what we see. An explanation that points to far longer timelines, more advanced civilizations that have been lost to cataclysm and time, and that their remnants and remains are only visible today through the lens of thousands of years of inheritance, renovation, and rework. Let's round this video out with a quick look at some of the other interesting features of the mortuary temple, features that it shares with other megalithic structures on the Giza Plateau. One is the evidence for large blocks of white calcite, with an example found just on the ground inside the temple.
Granite stone and white calcite crystal as well.
Yeah, this is calcite, isn't it?
Yeah.
Another large block of calcite is found still embedded into the ground, evidently a part of the foundation, It's right next to yet another interesting feature of this site, a granite U-shaped channeled block that I think is evidence for some sort of subsurface infrastructure. We see these channeled blocks on both ends of the causeway, in both the mortuary and valley temple structures. And in my video on the Sphinx Temple, I highlighted the existence of a very large, approximately 70-ton granite U-shaped channeled block inside the rarely visited structure. These types of channeled infrastructure blocks also exist on other Old Kingdom sites, the ones with similar massive and precise stonework made from basalt, limestone, granite and calcite, sites like Dashur, Saqqara and Abu Sir. The last topic that I want to comment on, and I'm sure it's something you've noticed over the course of the video, is the utterly tremendous level of erosion that is present in the megalithic limestone blocks here. I'm going to do a deeper dive into this in a dedicated video in the near future, but I'll just leave you with this thought. It's interesting when you compare the erosion of the well-known megalithic structures like the Mortuary Temple with other 4th Dynasty limestone buildings on the plateau. According to the standard model, they were all built at roughly the same time by the same people. This structure, for example, just behind the Great Pyramid, is undoubtedly 4th Dynasty Old Kingdom work. It's the exact same type of limestone as the Mortuary Temple, Nummulitic limestone, yet this also was never cased in granite, as were the Mortuary Valley and Sphinx temples, and this granite would have actually protected the limestone from erosion. Yet today we see tremendous levels of erosion on these megalithic structures. This smaller block structure behind the Great Pyramid is at the exact same elevation as the Mortuary Temple, and presumably would have been subject to the same environmental conditions, yet it's in much better shape and shows very little erosion. On the Giza Plateau, there are many more examples and comparisons like this that can be made, that again, remember, according to the standard model, were all built at the same time from the same stone and by the same people as the much larger, much more heavily eroded megalithic structures. Why then is there such a stark difference in the level of erosion that we see? Food for thought, I think. I hope you enjoyed this look at some of the interesting features on the Giza Plateau. Please consider supporting Uncharted X through the value for value model. There's lots of ways to do that, and they're all outlined on my website at unchartedx.com/support. I want to extend a huge thank you to those who do support my work, whether it's on Patreon, Subscribestar, or YouTube channel memberships, or those who choose more direct support options. In particular, I want to acknowledge and thank the executive and associate executive producers for this episode. These are real credits, they work the same way that Hollywood credits do, and if you're interested in becoming a producer, please do check out the Uncharted X support page. Remember to take a look at my second channel, Uncharted X Live, and if you want to catch me on a live stream, join the Uncharted X Discord to get notified when I'm going live. The invite link is below in the description. Many thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.
Hour long.
So Saturday, December 9th, and today is chest and calves. So I wanted to do this vlog for you guys. I'm gonna make my intra workout drink right now, so I'm actually gonna go for just straight pumps today. I'm actually doing 2 scoops. I'm gonna put some creatine in there. Anyone that's not using creatine in their weight routines, you're fired.
For stash, yes, yes.
Researched.
I was just thinking for stash. I was about to write that. What up, bro? Thanks for being here, man.
I'm actually excited to train today. I got my Fuzzy Wuzzy
I like that.
Young LA.
How my fuzzy was he, man? That guy's comfy as fuck, bro. Look at
In
that.
the shorts.
He feels it though. He fucking feels it.
I had this
Sure.
so today, like I said, is chest day. I'm gonna take control. control this right now, and I'm gonna say
It's been a while.
we're off to Elevation. So I'm doing a little different training today. I'm meeting Dave at Elevation, and today's a beautiful day in Las Vegas. Let me show you guys how beautiful the weather is today. Although it was 39 when we woke up this morning. I just got all the cushions redone on this stuff. It's beautiful outside, so I'm gonna head over there, meet Big Dave, and get this training in. Let's go.
Exercise you posted on Instagram yesterday, dude. But they do look really pretty, actually. What do you think, Dave?
Who brought this?
His. Yeah. That's not gonna help your abs, dude. I'm surprised your
Hey.
abs look the way they do, man.
What's up, guys?
You guys are killing it, huh?
You good? Good to see you. Corey, how are you? Good to see you, man.
What's up, man? What up, Ninja? How are you?
All right, hey, man, what's up? I was just asking about you the other day. I don't know.
In Vegas. Just started, man. We just
We're
started.
filming.
Sorry, we just started.
Hanukkah, all that good stuff is going
How are
on,
you?
guys.
Yeah, Sour
Yeah,
Stash's
we're just chilling,
recommendation.
man. Came to work out, shoot a video.
That's what's up.
Hopefully, it was hoping it was a little slow today, so.
Yeah, no, it was. It just picked up. But you just picked up just now. You walking in. You spotlight, man. You mad.
Nah, it's you guys. It's you guys.
How are you? Good to see you. Everything good?
Yes.
Yes? What are you training today? Do you know?
Yeah, I'm gonna do chest and calves. I wanted to come in and do something. So just a little change up today, guys. We're here at Elevation. I mean, we've done some videos here before, but what I wanted to get, on this hammer machine. So we're gonna do this incline, and then we're gonna do this
Moving
flat
these around,
press.
nice.
And I want to actually do this.
Yeah,
I
I've
don't
been
know if
moving
you
so much
used
shit,
this
Ninja.
one
I saw you were
before,
taking
the
apart your
standing
ramp,
up
bro.
You have.
on the video, or
Yeah.
Inspired
and
ramp,
we
yeah.
filmed
and,
that
and then maybe
makes
this
this
slide
time.
movement.
Yeah.
I'm cleaning
So
up my
definitely like
parents'
those
house
four
too. That's why I
motions.
haven't streamed.
So like I said, the training has been scaled back some.
Oh,
So
yeah, man.
as much as I'd like to
Inspiring
focus on
shit.
some dumbbell work, so I just wanted
That's
to come and
funny.
get on some different equipment because normally I'm training at Kilo
Yeah, dude.
Club.
I
And,
cleaned up my house was
You know, I'm
a
kind of on the
mess.
same,
I
which I
threw
haven't
out
used
so
any
much
of these
random shit.
pieces at all in such a long time. So, you know, we talk about doing the same exercises, but
Nice, dude.
definitely changes on the equipment that you use, right?
Yeah, I was gonna
I mean,
stream
that's why I think that we
me
like training at different gyms.
cleaning
once in a
up, but
while.
man,
But I'm
I
getting
was
back
getting
on track
angry,
now. My
man.
sleep is back on. Like it's,
could
you know, I
not
was
do
on that
that.
9-hour time swing from the last time we filmed
It's like swearing.
with the
What fuck is
jaywalk, you
this
know.
shit?
So I've just been.
Damn it.
How's your diet? Have you been able
Stomach
to
You
eat?
know what? I
tone
haven't been
shit.
eating as much as I'd like to, but I'm gonna get back on doing some better meal planning now. It's just this week's been kind of on catch up.
Right,
But I'm
right.
always trying to eat more, you know that.
Yeah. All right.
So we're gonna start with some inclines, and then we'll probably move over to some flat. I'll kind of talk a little bit through it, but I'm feeling good. I mean, I definitely lost some weight while I was gone. Everyone's telling me I look good, but I mean, that means I look athletic. Look, when you look good, you look athletic. You know? So this is our warm up. At the end of this video, I'm going to ask people something's wrong with this video, something's backwards, and I'm going to see what they say. We're going to see how much you guys follow the real Jay
attention.
Cutler channel, you know.
Oh man, first set. What's harder, the first set or the last set? I guess it should always be the last set. First is always obviously something.
15.
Was it 15?
15.
So I'm just trying to go by feel. So as you see, I can do more weight. That's the one thing. I never judge success in the gym on the weight. Although in the beginning, like you getting stronger. You know, I think as you build muscle, you should get stronger. But remember, I'm more in the maintenance phase. I keep saying this. I don't want to overdo it. I'm going to do, you know, not a lot of volume, but so should I train to failure? Maybe. but this is gonna give me enough. I'm gonna do a couple sets of this. I'm not gonna go any heavier. So I'll probably do 2 more sets, and then I'll roll to the next exercise. But it's just about getting the stimulation, feeling good about it, and you know, just you'll see how the muscle contracts at short rep range, and I'm really just kind of pushing with the chest and not with everything else. So I think that's where you don't have to focus on the weight as much.
You came here just for this machine?
I only came here for this. Now this is different from so some of you guys in the gym, you're gonna have this, so it has the tricep on the other end.
Like
so
Gold's
it's like,
Gym, yeah.
It doesn't have the isolateral on it.
Yeah.
What I really like about this one is obviously people do the one arms thing. This has never been my style, you know. You notice my training's kind of stayed the same since the beginning, but I really like this movement. It really gives me a good contraction. So it works similar to dumbbells. So I'm gonna start, this is my starting weight, so just gotta get into it right. We put the plates there, you can see. My ego should tell me just to go to 3, but we're gonna.
Well, you get more sets coming.
No,
You get more sets coming.
I try not to be an ego lifter. You know, I always complain about the ego lifters. One thing I always said, like, leave your ego at the door, right?
Yeah.
And some days I feel stronger than others, so I'm not gonna lie, like, the ego does jump ahead of me a little bit. But not at 50. You could care less, right? You ever go in the gym and push yourself and just be like, today I'm gonna push more weight, or does it always kind of be the same weight?
It kind of depends how I feel, you know.
But
if I have all my
but
meals
not an
and-
extreme jump ever, right?
No,
like you don't
no.
squat. If you squat 225, you ever go to 315, or
No.
it's not that much of a jump,
No.
right? See, it's not too heavy. A little less reps on these, huh?
12.
Yeah.
You did 14 before.
Okay.
This one? Yeah, I love that
So my
fly.
starting
was
weight,
it?
325s. I think I'll start starting in with this. Good to stretch it out. I don't know how many that was. But
12.
I'm gonna go up a plate. I lied.
Yeah.
Control
Easy
how much
work
tension
now.
too. Oh no.
So
No, man. What a
So what I always
movie.
talk
You're not.
about
You're
is
not
pumping,
allowed. Sorry,
pumping,
no.
right? So we did a couple. Wait, we push,
It's
push,
satire.
push. Now we'll
It's
stretch the
satire.
fibers. Gonna open the chest up. Okay, and then we're gonna finish with this thing. I might do a pull over too, but let's just see how this is. Let's see. You knew that was coming,
I
bro.
know, you keep adding stuff
Huh?
on. You always add shit
You know, the
up.
truth is, I like to work out.
I know you do. That's
I
why when you
can't
said
lie.
I'm gonna train 3 days a week, I was like, okay.
Well, I did take. I've trained every day, I think, since I came back. I have to think about that, you know.
Yep.
You didn't believe me when I said that,
Of
huh?
course not. I know you.
All right, I put the seat low on this, so I stay pretty low to the floor, so I can really get the arch in my back to get my pecs. Oh. So every rep, I'm squeezing the pecs.
This looks a good weight for you.
Huh?
This looks like a better weight
I
for
think
you.
I think I could do one more plate, but I'm not going to. All right, so you avid gym goers. This is I guess this would be called the vertical vertical chest press.
Yeah, or standing chest press. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like you're in a machine, you know?
Mm-hmm. How was it? Oh, I didn't count.
I'm sure our YouTube people counted.
Yeah, we should ask them.
Something I want to tell you guys too, etiquette. Take your plates off. Take your plates off.
That's right.
Machines. Please, because I go to the gym way too many times. And we got plates all over the place. Try to be
courteous.
Yeah, what did your mom teach you?
Well, yeah, to be courteous.
Shit. How was your breakfast this morning?
It was good.
What did you eat?
I had eggs and Ezekiel bread and cottage cheese.
Okay,
I without the bacon.
I had 2 eggs. I had cottage cheese. I had a bagel.
Ah.
I had oatmeal, a banana, scoop of protein, 2 cups of egg whites and blueberries, cup of coffee.
Wow.
How's that?
That's a lot.
How many grams of protein do you think I had this morning?
Yeah.
At least 100.
Yeah, probably.
Can you
Extra scary then, right?
Can you
if I
consume
can't
and
slide them
digest
off.
100 grams of protein in one sitting?
You're opening a can of worms now.
Yes, you can.
If you had more weight, yeah, I'd be worried.
All right, what's our final
right.
exercise,
I don't
Dave?
know.
Did you say pull
Couple
over?
of sets of pullovers. I want to stretch the pec. So I stress this is the pump, stretch, pump, stretch. Okay, so we're gonna do one final exercise. We're gonna stretch the lats. You know, indirectly it pumps the chest a little bit. Just gotta find a bench that I can use.
Yeah.
I might take this mic off though for that.
I think
Just so it
I think
doesn't
it
hit
even rolled it
All right,
down.
so check this out. So
I think it
when
just
I'm
rolled
doing
it
this
off me.
pullover,
I think I was able to.
the
I think
grip
put it
is
on
like
the ground,
this, okay?
and then I just
So I'm almost like
lifted it
pressing the
like
chest.
this.
Whereas back, I would hold it like this to stretch the lats, right? So I'm gripping it in like a triangle to really pull
But I
and
think
get
I
that
should go
squeeze. So I'm
heavier,
gonna do a
man.
couple of sets, stretch the pecs. Now we filled
I
it,
don't know, I
like
think
I
it's
said,
just-
stretch it out, keep that blood flow. This is gonna be a final exercise. I'm
I
not
gotta
gonna lie
change my
this
form.
time.
You're right, man.
So I'm
I
gonna
gotta
do 2
use my
sets. I don't know how
feet.
many reps was the first one. Like
Wasn't
10 or
putting
12.
a wall
12.
So you're just lying. You
against the
didn't
wall
count.
No,
could be
12.
could
Okay,
work.
okay. So one more
I think I
set,
changed the whole
and then
setup.
guess what? It's calf training. If you guys watch through this video and guess that in the beginning, I'm gonna look to the comments actually. We're gonna do calves after today because it wasn't a priority today. I don't care how big my calves are anymore. I still get comments on them, so.
People say, why are you always in the gym? Because I want to be healthy.
Yeah.
Which videos?
If I have to look
Sorry,
at
dude.
the result of being healthy, then it's better.
His cut loose.
Are we filming this, Dave?
Yeah.
Where's that? I don't work my triceps at all. Yeah, that's true. I don't work my triceps.
Amplify and fundamentals, which I have in the video prior. But I kind of messed up because I didn't drink it while I was
I know.
training.
You weren't having your Celsius.
Because you're a big intra guy, right?
Yeah, I love that.
Do you think intra is better than like after or before, or you do like? Do you still have a shake after the gym, or do you try to eat food?
I mostly
dude,
just
I
have
do
like a
like
branch
working
chain
out at home.
and amplify while I train.
Have you always used branch chains?
Yeah.
Yes.
You inspire me to do that
Yeah.
staff.
See, I don't know if I've always used
And
branch
then,
chains
yeah, I've been doing that
because
with
I
the
felt like
bicep
my
curls.
diet
I've been doing the
was so
bicycle. I've been doing the
intact
10
with
and then 7.
enough protein
10 times
Yeah.
50.
Like
and
that's a
7
common
times
question is like,
30.
I guess when you train, branch chains are
Back to back.
necessary.
That's when you
right?
train
I mean,
that you need it. Yeah.
or I say essential aminos, right?
Yeah.
High reps will feel, yeah. I mean, I'm
you
trying to
feel
max
like-
out on
I
everything.
know research shows that in order for them to kind of work,
I'm not
you have different
near max,
essentials
but,
and
like,
branch chains
Yeah,
together.
both is better. Both is better.
I don't know.
But do you
tried to do it
remember
with
when it
the
was
chin-ups.
strictly branch chains?
I know.
before?
Chins are cool because you can totally
It's kind of funny how research kind
max
of
out, yeah.
changed over the years,
Evolved.
right?
or at
Yeah.
least get close to it.
You know how I feel about it though?
What?
I feel like it's like isolate protein versus like concentrate or a blend. I still feel like I still feel your body reacts the same for
Yeah.
certain people.
Well, especially if you're good about eating your protein on time, you always have some aminos
Always
in your
that
system.
flow, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I think your body's going to simulate. Like your body doesn't say, "Oh, this is isolate versus a blend." I feel.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like a casein. Does it burn that much slower at night?
Supposedly it does. I mean, it's kind of like the cottage cheese. It's a good time to have it
Yeah,
before
yeah.
you go to bed. Yeah.
You're right. Chris used to always tell me that. You
Yeah.
know. All right, so I'm gonna do toe presses. We don't have a standing calf machine here, so.
It doesn't.
So normally this is
It doesn't
first
have
in
the
routine.
optimal pectoral engagement. I agree. Or even like this part of the body. You know what I mean? I agree because you're not engaging the legs at all,
13.
and you're not solidifying. I admit. Whatever. Yeah, sure, I'll try, but
You see the 1-2 motion, right?
Yep.
You know what I wish they had here?
What?
A donkey calf. Does anyone have a donkey calf machine?
Yeah, Flex has it.
He does, huh?
Yeah.
So what do you tell me? I have to go to Dragon's Lair just to do
That's right.
donkey calves, or
You just go in just for that.
they had the machine
feels
in
pretty good,
South
though.
Beach.
Yeah.
I had no idea what people were doing
That's the one we have
And,
also. That's Arsenal.
at Muscle Beach. I don't know what this does. Calves?
do you really believe it only works the outside edge of the calves?
I don't know. I think.
I think it works the overall calf.
Yeah,
You know what I
it's-
mean? It's hard to isolate a muscle.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude.
You know, whether it's
About
incline,
whatever
flat bench, decline, you know. Oh, it works the lower pecs, middle pec.
Yeah.
I think, you know, the flat press works the whole pec. You
Yeah.
know?
That's the.
I think the upper,
Christmas present.
you know, the shoulders and the upper pecs with the incline hit, right?
Yeah.
I would say the incline hits as much front delt as it does upper
Yeah.
pec.
It does.
So that's why I think that it's a little misconstrued on what's necessary for upper chest, you know?
Yeah.
I think you'd be better off doing some sort of a fly where you can come up and contract,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be afraid of, I know you do a lot of cable work, but cable work can be very beneficial for people for muscle control.
Yeah.
I think anyone that wants to isolate can concentrate and learn how to squeeze the muscle by doing cable movements.
That's true.
With what's going on.
What's going on with this animal?
What's going on with me?
You look good at the guest posing. I saw the video though. You look great.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, you're in great shape still.
Thank you. Thanks.
Awesome.
Yeah.
How was it?
It was great. It was fun to be able to be there with the guys, you know. Just stand next to Nick Walker, which is one of the best guys in the world, obviously. So it was fun, and it was just all
You
good
got your
friends.
call out.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was all good friends, a good time, and there was that little kid that was awesome, and
Yeah.
it was fun.
Awesome.
Tell everyone your plans.
All right.
What is the plan?
Well, I don't know yet exactly, but I know the plan is to go to the Olympia for next year for sure.
Have you chosen your show yet?
But there's no schedule yet out, so.
Oh, there isn't.
No.
Okay.
So that's the only thing I'm really waiting on, but I think I'll be competing around July. I really like to do Vancouver last year, so I might do Vancouver, Chicago. something around that
You've
time.
been keeping yourself in shape though. Like you look great for off season.
Thank you. Yeah, it's
awesome.
Still on the plan, you know.
Yeah.
The
So
question is, did we ever think Stanham will be bigger than me?
I would have not guessed. No, not back in the
now if you
day.
put that picture from 2010, no.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's good to see you.
Very cool. You're on.
All right, so this is our wrap-up video, guys. Appreciate you guys following along. Man, it's good to be back, man. Vegas is my spot, definitely. I mean, when I was out in Scandinavia, it was like snowing every day, and
Oh, jeez.
in Sweden,
you guys.
and
You guys
then
made this fucking stream awesome.
you know, I went over to Denmark,
Watching
and they say,
me
"Oh, it
lift
doesn't snow
weights
as much
randomly.
here," and it was a little chilly, but you know, I come back and it
Over
is chilly.
200.
It's
Yeah,
39
today
this
is.
morning.
Yeah, today
everyone.
is.
But we finished up doing some chest and calves today. As you see, I kind of backwards did the calf training, but it's all good. Felt good. Like I said, feeling good to be back. My first chest workout since I got back in Vegas. Appreciate you guys following along. I put in a couple
we had
tips
the
here. I
bed.
want you guys
Remember
to
the
kind of
bed?
point
The
those
bed
out. If
was
you
right
guys
here where this
have any
so this
comments
whole
or any
thing
kind of
here used to be the bed.
questions, make sure you guys. I am going
There was
through
just
the
this
chat
bed
here,
that was here
all the questions and
ever
all the
since
comments.
like
And,
1989.
whatever you guys want to ask me or whatever, I'll be happy to answer best of my ability. I want to keep you guys
So
pushing.
it was
you know,
a slow
we're working into
progress.
The new year,
It was a slow.
2024. The question is,
Now it's a fucking
are we going to do my last workout of
Power
2023? Is it going to be at the Mecca Bodybuilding?
Oh, thanks,
Let's see
man.
what the requests are. Do you guys want to see
single lunch.
a good? Because I'll come to Cali. You'll be in Cali.
I'll be in
so,
Cali, yeah.
We may have to make a trip on the Saturday, so it's busy.
Yep.
And we
Could-
can really,
could do
you know,
some
Friday
lunges.
afternoon's probably pretty
Skinny.
good too. But
Thanks, man.
you know, maybe
Thanks,
our
buddy.
last workout of 2023.
Yeah,
is gonna be at the
well,
Mecca
I also
Bodybuilding.
am now
fun,
consuming
I think
large
that's kind
quantities
been
of
our
whey
tradition,
protein.
right?
Yep.
Usually the first workout of
As
2000
for
the
Toad's
next year,
suggestion.
or you know the ending workout. So thank you guys for following along. Make sure you guys like, subscribe.
300.
I love the content. You know,
Sounds
I love
good.
you guys always commenting on the stuff. I appreciate you
redemption,
guys
no.
more than you know. Let's finish up.
can't
the year
do
strong,
any
and keep pushing ourselves.
Redemptions that ask me to do anything.
Dave and
but
myself,
it's
JTV,
bad
we are
news.
out. Okay.
Game of Thrones, go sexy on you. I flip the script, I roll the dice. Don't fall asleep, cause I'm
Yo,
working
what's
nights.
up?
Hey,
What
you
do
tryna-
should be IDK? What's IDK, man? He just came out with a podcast. This might or might not be interesting. I might turn it off. He seems like an interesting guy. I don't know if it'll hype me up. Look at that rolls.
Cutler cast,
I don't know.
not the episode end of the year.
Mm. Okay.
Wrapping up.
I don't even know what number this
I
is.
don't know.
We lost
Okay.
count, but no one cares.
Cool.
Yeah, they do. It's serious.
So I was about to
business.
start this podcast right now. I just
Yo.
mixed up that.
Welcome,
Push
welcome.
that out of the way. That's the, you know, it's but I can market it. But so I started this, and this is the newest.
Assume your
we
body
saw
weight
this
in
launched at the
grams,
Olympian.
one-
I just dropped this can.
I was gonna say, were you
Okay,
chewing on the?
recover.
So the question is, if I open this, what's
Holy
going to
moly,
happen?
really?
Because this is sparkling.
It's like 100. It's like
Let's see
190
if this-
grams.
You had to pick the can that I
Not
knocked
working
on.
out or
Okay.
aching.
They were
Mm.
good.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't open very well. There we go.
I was hoping.
No,
it
I've been
exploded
low
right in your
aching.
face.
My aching has been pretty low.
Wow, this is pretty good. It's a cherry lime one.
What's up, Hideyoshi? I
do you
know
think?
that you're here.
It's good.
Solid
so
matters, my man.
this was introduced at the Olympia, right?
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
And they have all these new flavors. Obviously, we're big cola. They
got
actually
right here.
remember they searched that at the Olympian. They found it for us, but. So we're gonna do a little review on what we've been doing for the last couple weeks because I know we had some. What was our last episode that launched?
The last one we did was with Brian Shaw.
Okay, so but that was quite a little ways ago. So we've had a few trips. Obviously, F1's over in Vegas. The traffic is still ridiculous.
Sort of, I mean, I
actually
am
went
doing
to
the same
eat on
routine
Friday
over and
night
over,
at
yeah.
Prime. It's a steakhouse
I
in
agree.
Bellagio. So
I'm
some of
not
you guys that came here
Surprising the
before,
muscles.
horrendous traffic.
How
It was the
how
night of the
wrestling?
UFC. The food was great.
With
Food was
the
great.
Ender Pearls, thank you, Carl Jobs, for teaching me all
Vegas,
about Minecraft. I
thought
didn't know how to
died
play
out
it, but now I
as
know.
We got into December, but it was very, very busy.
And the pigs.
Strip is still crazy.
You
They've
gotta give
cleaned
the
up a lot
money
from
to the
F1.
pigs.
We
They
did
still-
not attend any of those
And the
events,
pigs give
but we
you-
heard we heard,
Injured pearls?
you know, it was cool, but at the same time,
It's mod.
Mixed
I think it
reviews,
was.
it's
I
cool.
think it was hyped up a lot, and I just don't know how many people we actually were related to that actually attended. I know a lot of people attended the event, but less people flew in for it than I expected that we knew.
From the videos and pictures I saw, I think what happened was they tried to jump the price up so high because it's Las Vegas and not everyone would come. And I think the scalpers or whoever else made the tickets so ridiculous that people said, oh, I'm just not going to go. So it wasn't that busy at the actual show, but Vegas was still busy.
Yeah, I mean, I think we were coming back from somewhere around that time, or I don't know what we were doing, but it wasn't something we really wanted to go down. And I know that some of the races, it was late at night as the actual race on that side of the UFC.
There was a race
and
and there was a UFC fight the same day.
So it was like super late. I think it started at like 11 or something. So, but we attended the Sweden Expo, and this is something that this is the Fitness Festival. And I was there, Dorian Yates was there, Kevin Leverone was there, Sean Ray was there. Chris Cormier was there. Brian was there. Who am I missing?
I think that was...
We haven't attended this show since 2019.
Yes.
And we also piggybacked a awesome event in Denmark, in Copenhagen. But let's talk a little Fitness Festival. So Christian and the team, once again, put together last year I think they had the event, but it was very limited. And they brought us back this year. Tremendous. I mean, I thought the trip was, we flew over. We were kind of nervous about connection because it seems like every plane is late these days, and luckily you spaced it enough.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny? Both legs coming, going like 2.5, 3 hour layovers, and we barely made it with those layovers.
Hey, look, every time, I used to, years ago when I'd book flights, I'd always go, okay, where's the layover that's an hour? Because then by the time you land, you walk, it's already boarding. It's easy. Now you're like, okay, I need one at least 2 hours because every plane is 30 or 40 minutes late or sometimes an hour late, and then you're racing to get to the next one. And if you have an hour layover, like, oh, sorry, you're stuck. We'll put you on the next flight.
So let's talk a little bit about, so we're United Flyers. Okay, you were Delta. I don't even what your stat. What was the status?
Miler.
Okay.
Delta.
So why is it important to try to stick to the same airline? Explain this, especially for people that travel extensively.
For a couple reasons. The most important reason is if you travel a lot and you're going to get stranded at some point, whether it's mechanical or weather or something.
That's not very positive thinking.
It is, but you're going to. Stranded meaning like a plane's going to, something's going to happen, you're going to get stuck. Or there's a horrible snowstorm. If you have the highest status, they're going to make sure you're the first one out of there.
I know, but we're 1K, so we're not global.
There's one higher, yeah.
Okay, so
that's an invite.
So it goes silver, gold,
platinum.
Okay,
1K. Yes.
So not everyone's going to travel 1K status. No. So what does that mean? What if they're silver?
Then you
have a priority.
Yes and no. You have a higher priority than someone who doesn't have
status.
A ticket.
What if someone's buying a first class ticket and they don't have status?
Silver.
Really?
No, it's status matters. Because, so if you spend $1,000 on one flight, but if you're a silver, that means you spent $8,000 on the airline throughout the year. So they're going to give you precedence.
Okay, I'm gonna give all our people on here, anyone that's listening or viewing this, okay, especially the people in the fitness community, the first thing you should do when you take your first flight, if some people they have not flown, some of our younger people, some people that just haven't traveled, guys, sign up for the loyalty program. How important is that?
It is. You have no idea how many known people have no programs.
We know a lot, right?
And sometimes I'll be like, you don't have what? Like, no, I don't want to do that.
Why? Tell me. I mean, listen, we just logged into our accounts, right? Yeah. We're both about the same
We're
mileage.
3,000 miles apart on United.
So we have lifetime miles. I mean, I had
I think we've
over
always
a million,
had it.
I think, with every airline at certain points, because when I was flying, I was circling certain airlines because it went
Dude,
by
we do have a
pricing,
milk
which
cartel
people
here,
do.
man.
Yeah.
There's like
Now
a milk
we know
mafia
better
here.
to stick to pretty
Not
much
even
the same.
lying.
Although I fly Delta sometimes.
Yeah, I mean,
They
I would still fly
voted
Delta
in a
from time to
different
time.
leader of the
'Cause there was
Conservative
one year I
Party
had a
because
Delta
the
360,
other
which is Delta
conservatives, the
360
pure
is equal
libertarian,
to,
free
global
market
services.
capitalists, and the
You'd stay
cartel
at
did not like that.
silver, gold, platinum, diamond. Diamond was 125,000 miles, and then we had Delta 360, which I've
Hey
only
man,
met a
good,
couple
thanks
people.
for
I had it one
streaming.
year.
Thanks for sharing, building that
It's
that
so
mini ramp in
important
your
that
backyard. That
when you
inspired me
travel a
so
lot,
much,
one,
dude.
you're
Just
not paying
to
for bags. You get multiple
do
bags
things
for
and get
free.
shit
Anyone
done.
that's on
You know, you
your
want shit to
itinerary
happen,
gets
you
the
just
same
go and
status
do
as
it.
you have.
You know.
You get to get
Yeah.
on the plane first to make sure you have your
Overhead
baggage in the
space.
spot.
Yeah.
Yep. Once you hit a certain level of status, you get upgraded.
Buying these fucking,
points
like,
for
the bench
international.
press
So you could
and the
book
bench.
a $1,000 flight to Australia, and if it's timed right and you do it right, you can use your points and get upgraded to business for free, which is a
Sometimes you
$10,000
can
ticket.
immediately book
Sometimes
and
you can.
upgrade, but sometimes you get put on a wait list.
Yeah.
But with your plus points, like we have for United, it drives you to the front.
You're at the front of the line.
Yeah, especially with 1K. So
international, you can only get upgraded if you use points. It's not domestic. Anytime you're on a lay flat, even if you're going from like San Francisco to Newark and you're on like a 777 or a Dreamliner, you still got to use plus points.
Okay, so anything out of this podcast, you guys can not listen to the rest, but please sign up for your loyalty points program with any airline you fly.
I have them on my phone. I have every one, even ones I fly once in a while, like Southwest. It's not even that. It's just you have access to everything on your phone.
And
too.
a lot of these credit cards you can credit.
Yeah.
You can get like a United,
Like-
Amex, or a Chase card, and it gives you points.
like
right?
even right now. So I'm flying to South Africa in like 3 days, and I paid for a business ticket, and it's a lot of money. And I could have booked the cheap economy ticket and used plus points, but
We
when I
didn't
was
wanna risk
looking,
it.
I didn't want to risk not, because that shit's 15 and a half hours.
Yeah.
And nonstop. And I was looking at it, I'm going, man, my luck, something will happen and the whole plane will sell out and I'll be stuck in economy. So I bit the bullet and paid for a business seat. And now I'm looking on the plane and I'm like, man, there's 16 business seats open. I could cancel my ticket, use it as a credit.
The problem is 3 days out, the ticket's going to be more expensive than it was.
But even if it
a
saves
month
me
ago when we
$1,000
booked it.
bucks,
I know.
$1,000 is $1,000.
So to go back, so we flew. It was a little iffy on the connections. By the way, I did take advantage of my status because they did cancel me going through Germany. Where did I come back
You're
from?
from Romania.
That's right.
Yep.
And I had to stay overnight.
Yep.
And they paid for everything. And, of
And one
course
other
put-
thing too, so if you, and I don't know if it's like this on Delta anymore or American, but if you're on United and you have 1K or global services, if your plane gets canceled for any reason, even if it's weather, they will put you at the best room at the hotel at the airport. So this has happened to me in the past where I've gotten stuck in New Jersey, I've gotten stuck in Chicago because of snowstorms. If you don't have the status, they'll say, hey, sorry, you're out tomorrow. We have a discount. You can stay at the Days Inn. It's 20 minutes up the road. But for me, you walk over the counter. Hey, you go into the priority lane. I'm a 1K. And they'll say, okay, here you go. The Marriott hotel or the W hotel's right here, and you have a suite. And here's $75 towards food. So that's another thing that they do as a perk, which matters. Like I don't know if I'm going to get global services this year. I think you have to spend like 50 grand, and I'm going to be, I think, around 45,000 this year. So I don't think I'll get it, but I think next year I will, because next year is going to be ridiculous. So
Yeah, so we got there. We came in on a Thursday. The event, we didn't have to schedule. We didn't have to do Friday. We went to the gym. We trained, filmed some content. Saturday, Sunday was the event, right?
Why don't you talk?
Celsius was also a reason that I went.
Yep, they brought you. They're
along
part of
with
the
the
reason.
fitness festival, and we trained every day.
But I want you to talk about what it took for us to get in the gym across the street. with the two doors, we get stuck.
It's pretty smart, actually.
No, it
So
is.
we went to this key card, and so the hotel gave us cards to walk across the street to this gym. And by the way, it snowed every day we were there, and it gets light at like 9 and it got dark at 3.
Yeah.
So the daylight's cut really short in Scandinavia, right? We don't prepare for this, of course. We walk over there like. I actually brought heavier
You had a
clothes.
pair of shorts on.
No, I had the heavy jacket, remember? So, and you're like, I don't own a jacket. So anyway, thanks. Shout out to Young and Life for that. So we walk over, and they have these doors. So these doors are like enough for one person. You open one door, and there's just enough space. You got to have that other door, the door you just walked through, shut in order to swipe another card. And
to get through the second door.
To get through the second door, and
you can't fit.
I said, okay, you try it first, and of course you got stuck in the thing. So I said, oh, it's okay. I can open the original door. So like we're like, what the hell's going on? And then so you called the guy, and of course there's an emergency exit on the right instead of going through these double doors. So he's like, just open the emergency. I'm like, you sure that's okay? So of course we go in and
scan it and go.
And you know, it's a really nice gym. We actually talked about this gym and how this would be a great personal gym. I mean, it was Star Trek and everything else, and of course there's no one in there.
Yeah.
But of course we go to leave, and the alarm goes off, and all these people.
We go out to exit.
By that time, people are in the gym because we train fasted, which was great, by the way. You guys want to beat jet lag. I mean, you hit the gym and as much as possible when you're on a trip, and I think it helps a lot with the sleep patterns. I actually slept pretty good while I was there, and maybe you not so much, but we were limited a little bit on the food. They did have food prep for us. We didn't carry our trifecta all the way over there.
We almost got kicked out.
Yeah,
for eating in
yeah,
a
we
restaurant.
weren't allowed to bring food in, and somehow they provided the food, but they still yelled at us for doing it. But all in all, great expo. I was able to do a seminar there. We really wanted to get a couple of those guys on the podcast. We just couldn't. We actually took we lugged all this stuff over there. So the cameras,
the whole podcast went to Europe.
We didn't have mics. We didn't have these.
We have
right?
different. Yeah. We have wireless mics. We bought all the stuff and we lugged the whole podcast around the world, and no, the times didn't work. So,
but we actually used it for.
Yeah, we did. We filmed a seminar, and we'll post that up probably. Maybe like right after the New Year's, we'll post a seminar. We'll have a couple. We'll have a second interview with someone that we did that'll launch in January, and because I'll be overseas for like almost 3 weeks, and we will. We got to utilize that, so it's just learning process.
So you set up the cameras. I did. So we flew. So we did the expo for 2 days. Then we flew Sunday night over to Copenhagen to see Stellan over there, who threw the loaded cup. I mean, has a great business model and everything over there. So. We weren't sure what was going to happen. We were kind of paying attention to the seats, but we pretty much sold out almost 400 seats, which was capacity.
Yeah.
Of course, you were like, we're going to knock this out in 3 hours. You're going to speak for an hour, do a meet and greet for an hour, and sign merch for an hour.
Not so much.
Yeah. It was like, what, 6 hours?
It turned into like 2 hours for the seminar.
I spoke a long time, yeah.
And then it was probably maybe another 2.5 to 3 hours. Like, I think we got there at, 4:30? I think we left around 11.
But I'll tell you what my takeaway of the whole trip, okay? And big shout out to everyone that came out and waited because the lines were tremendous at all locations. Oh, my gosh. The kids.
Yeah.
The age bracket. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Were all the young kids coming to see us at this. And I said, how do you guys follow this? YouTube, social media, TikTok. I couldn't believe it. The parents brought the kids, and now what's falling in my lap is that the adults now that followed some portion of my career now have children that are introduced to weight training, which I feel. Listen, back in our era, they used to talk about, you start to training too early, you're going to stunt growth. I truly don't believe that's. I think
if someone took drugs, it could, but not training.
I don't think especially not over there because everyone seems to be tall, right? It's weird in those places. I mean, even when I used to go, like when I traveled to Holland, they have some of the tallest people in the world, right? But the younger generation are coming out to these events, and they're well aware of everything that goes on. I mean, that seminar we did was a lot of open discussion about everything. We had a lot of questions in there. The kids are engaging. I mean, they're aspiring, and the parents seem to be super supportive of it.
I think there's a reason for this, and I'm not going to point the finger at anyone else, but there are people in the industry that have big followings, and they do YouTube videos and stuff, but they don't give you information. Hey, I'm training chest. You actually put information out there. You go on TikTok and you say, hey, this is how I'm training my chest.
Yeah.
You explain it in detail. I want you to do this. I want you to contract the muscle. I want you to. So you're putting information that when parents see it and their kids wanting to train, they could forward it to their kid and say, hey, who's this old guy on here? well, that's Jay Cutler. He was one of the top guys when I followed it. And now this kid becomes a fan because he watches this one on chest and biceps and calves and this, to where a lot of other people that are the known people in our industry that are younger, that have YouTube videos, they don't go into depth about, they don't put information that the fan base can actually use.
You know why I do that, though? I'll tell you, because when I joined the gym at 18, I would ask guys, and listen, I probably got wrong information, but, you know, basic things like how do you train legs or chest or whatever. And I, you know, grew up with a couple guys and work out. And, of course, they would try to make me sick, you know, overwork me. But we had magazines, and we had articles in there. And I saw the Rich Gasparis and the Lee Haneys and, of course, Arnold's. And I read Bob Harris's Beyond Built book, you know, from GNC when I was 16. And you had to make those routines come alive. I feel today it's almost like a non-thinking process to just watch someone go through a workout and be able to say, okay, this is how many count the repetitions. Watch the actual movement and see, okay, at what plane did I push the weight, or when I did the rows, where did I pull the weight to? You can visualize all those things. So I think it's really important now is to have, okay, what's the mindset as you're going through this? And so people can be trained when they go to the gym. It's not just about going in there and having no game plan whatsoever and just moving weights, right? You have to have some sort of a plan of action, and there has to be a tempo. There has to be a rest time. You have to explain all these things, and those are things that we had to learn through trial and error, right? And not everyone's going to rest 45 or 60 seconds, right? I think the main thing, I focus on 12 repetitions. It's like a whole little thing they have on TikTok now, because it seems like everything I did was 12s. And indirectly, if I don't count reps, I still seem to fall in that 12 repetition range, right?
Yeah.
And you know, if anyone loves to train, it's me, right? Always. I don't miss any days. We didn't miss one single day when we were there, which was great. And I actually dragged you to the gym, and you're not even, you've fallen out of training now, and explain a little bit what's going on. And I want you to be honest and open, because I think a lot of people go through this period. It's the end of 23. I feel like this has been the least amount that you've trained since I've known you.
You know what it is? I had shoulder surgery in 2014, and for the first 18 months, I was not allowed to train because I tore my labrum off completely. I have 6 screws in my shoulder, and I remember the surgeon telling me, "You're never gonna be able to lift like you once did." And he tried to pound that in my head, and I didn't listen, but for 18 months I didn't train my upper body because it's so painful. And then there's a period where I started getting back into it and training like I normally did, heavy. Every once in a while, my shoulder gets tweaked. And when it happens, it hurts, and I'm out for like 6 to 8 weeks. It's just so, like, even...
But why? Why does it get tweaked?
I don't know.
Is this a sleeping issue? Is it in the gym? Do you remember, like, I went to bench press? Because I feel like you still train heavy when you do.
I do.
I mean, you went last week and you bragged to me about doing
I could
3 plates or something.
Yeah,
you know?
it doesn't, I mean, my strength never goes away, and I don't know why, it just doesn't. But it just, every once in a while, it could be a sleeping, it could just, something happens. It could be me one day picking something up, and I'm like, oh, it did something, and it's painful. It's never happened from the gym. And when that happens, it just triggers that in my head, and I don't want to go to the gym unless I can train the way I like to train. I don't need to lift as heavy as I once did, but I want to go in there and feel like I'm actually doing something. And if I can't, it just makes me not motivated to even be there. I don't even want to look in it. And, even now, over the last, let's just say 2 months, it's been like this. I go once or twice a week, and I'm in there for maybe 30 minutes, and that's it. And it's like, I force myself to do that.
I know, but sometimes I'm in there 30 minutes and I'm doing 15 sets, bro.
You do. And see, where you...
I hate the time. Like, there's no time limit of a gym, right?
No, like I'll go in there and I'll go, okay, I'm going to do 3 exercises because I want to do something. I'll go in there and do 3 exercises. I'll do 3 exercises, 4 sets. I'm in, I'm out, I walk out, and that's it. So I don't have that, I used to get excited to go to the gym.
You think you're ever going to get it back?
Yeah, I think I will for sure. It just this last couple months with all the traveling, me sleeping horrible. The diet's now, I've only eaten like twice a day.
I know, but that's not good.
I know it's not, but my shoulder hurting and all this stuff I've been home 1 week in the last 6 months. It just pounds on you, and it's just, I'm not motivated to go to the gym. Now, I still do 3 or 4 days a week, even though I'm not going to the gym. I wake up, there's an EOS across the street from me, and I just go walk on the treadmill for 30 minutes. I'll still do that. Sometimes I fast for the first half of the day. I don't eat till like 5 o'clock. Sometimes I eat right away. I'll go next door to like Stacks and Yolks or something and just get a normal breakfast. I don't eat like horrible, like someone would assume. Like even when I go like to these pancake and waffle places, I always get an omelet. Like I get an omelet, hash browns, coffee. I don't want pancakes. I don't want all it. That's just not my thing. But I don't know.
Did you ever think you'd hit that lull where you not motivated to work out coming from the background that you did? Because at one point you wanted to be a pro.
Yeah. I mean, but the way I went about it, as you get older, you realize that was not the correct way. I went into the gym and I wanted to lift. It wasn't 10 to 12. It was 6 to 8. Because I wanted to be strong.
You think you trained too heavy?
For sure. 100%. Instead of slow contracting, I mean, I didn't like bounce it off my chest, but I didn't do it as slow as I could. I didn't contract the way I could.
What is your least favorite body part to work out, you think?
Like right now?
No, like over time.
I think, when I was younger, I would say probably arms. I used to love training legs. I love back. I love shoulders because I could move a lot of weight. And no matter who you are, like you're not lifting heavy with your arms. It's not impressive. And I love just
it's repetitive too.
Yeah, I love getting under heavy weight. Whether it was squatting and doing. I remember